Hello, Grand Park community. How are you today? Happy afternoon. Welcome to your Yoga Ala retreat. I'm really glad you're here to practice with me today. And we're going to continue with our look at some intention work. So I say it all the time, but I find it really helpful to give our mind an anchor, a root to keep coming back to. This is a very helpful practice that comes from the Yoga Sutras. And what we think, how we see the world, is how the world is. And so it's always really helpful to me to give myself a place to land so that especially when things get really challenging, I can keep coming back to remember a quality about myself, something that I'm anchoring myself in, to give myself a foundation, right? So I don't get so swept up in things. I still get swept up in things, but it really is a helpful practice. So I'm going to pick a card for us. We'll see. I don't know what it's going to be, so it'll be a fun surprise for me as well. And let's just trust that whatever card I pull is the exact thing we need to be thinking about. So even if you're practicing this later, it's still applicable to you in your day. Ooh, so the card that I picked is light. Bring light to each interaction. How beautiful. Light. Bring light to each interaction. So this can be interpreted a lot of ways. We worked on playfulness before. Maybe our theme is to find a little bit more lightness in our bodies, a little bit more hope for the future. So let's just go ahead and settle our seat down into the floor or a chair, resting your palms down or up on your thighs. Settle your shoulders away from your ears. Close your eyes. And I'm just going to say the word light. What does that root you in when I say the word light? So can you find a physical lightness in your body by settling into your seat, by drawing your shoulders away from your ears, by softening the space of your jaw? And let's imagine an actual light, so a glowing light at the center of our hearts. So feel this light in your heart, even if it feels a little vulnerable to feel, to share it. This light, your heart, truly is your gift to the world. So let's place our hands on that beautiful gift. Place your hands on your heart. Feel your own heartbeat, maybe a little gentle pressure. Feel the magic and the light of your life working inside you. And then settle your hands back down in your lap with your eyes closed. I want you to imagine someone that you love, maybe someone you haven't seen in a long time. And I want you to send out some light, some love to them. So feel this in your heart, send it out. Almost like you were pinging them with a little remembrance of love. And then go ahead and flutter your eyes open. And we'll continue to work with this idea of lightness and also this idea of light in our heart. So we'll be doing some heart opening today, some energy work. So let's interlace the hands at the base of your spine and send that interlace away from your heart and send your heart up to the sky. So just opening across the space of your heart. Maybe you look up a little bit. And then we'll tuck the interlace into the left hip, and the left ear comes to the left shoulder. So keep your heart lifting here. Keep your right shoulder reaching away from your ear. And see what you can let be light right here. So what can you soften? Send your interlace back, puff up your chest, find that space across your heart. And then tucking the interlace into your right hip, right ear goes to right shoulder, space in the left side of your neck and your left shoulder. One last time, puff up your chest, send your interlace back, find maybe a lift of your gaze. And then release your interlace, place your hands down on your thighs, little half neck rolls. So tuck your chin into your chest. And then we're gonna find some lightness in our neck. So left ear to left shoulder, tuck your chin into your chest, right ear, right shoulder, and then you move at a pace that feels good for your body today. So we carry a lot of heaviness, most of us, in our necks and our shoulders. See if you can find some lightness by just creating some heat, some warmth, some intention to open and soften. Take your head back to center, arms spread wide, and then give yourself a squeeze. So give yourself a hug, elbows stack. Maybe you give a little wiggle here, finding joy, lightness in the spine, lifting your head away from your tailbone. And then let's open our arms on an inhale. We'll cross our arms the other way. So giving yourself a beautiful hug, maybe doing a little shimmy, and then releasing there. Let's find a stand. So coming to a standing position, finding your mountain pose. So the top of your head is your mountain, your arms come out to the side, heart is spread wide here. And then let's just do some shoulder rolls. So shoulders come up and around and back. Finding space across the neck and the shoulders. Let's take our shoulder rolls the other direction, in and around and down. Really nice mountain pose. Stand into your feet, spread your toes wide, send your thighs back, scoop your belly to your spine, lifting your heart, shoulders away from ears. And just feel what it feels like to stand in yourself right now. Is it heavy? And that's okay if it is. Can you maybe start to find a lightness in your breath? From here, we're going to come into what's called body tapping. So this is a really nice way I find when I feel really kind of heavy and stagnant. It's just a way to kind of wake myself up. It's a really nice thing to do in the morning, but we'll do it now in the afternoon. So you're going to use 2 fingers, like a little peace sign, and you're just going to start tapping the top of your head. So we're doing gentle tapping. We're not beating ourselves up. We're just kind of noticing the top of the head, noticing the back of your head, little taps maybe across your forehead, really gentle here. Maybe close your eyes, little taps across your eyes, around the bottom of your eyes, tapping down the bridge of your nose, across the upper lip and your cheeks, tapping across your jawline, your chin, your mouth, tapping along the back of your neck and gently across your throat. And then now you can start using both your peace fingers on both hands, tapping across your collarbone, across the space of your chest and your heart, across your belly and your hip bones, Anywhere you can reach on your low back and your mid back. You might even make little fists here. Cross your hips again. And then let's just tap down one arm and up one arm. Tapping down into the back of your hand and the palm of your hand. Up your arm again, switching the other side. So just gentle taps, just waking up energy in your body, finding some lightness, tapping down to your wrist, the back of your hand, into your palm. And then let's take both our hands into gentle fists, tapping down your thighs like you were coming into a forward fold, tapping down your shins. Tapping to the sides of your hips, down the sides of your legs, to the back of your calves and the back of your thighs, to your bum, maybe a little bit more pressure there to release. And then little taps on your feet. And then let's roll ourselves up to a stand and just standing in your mountain pose. Maybe the body feels some humming, a little bit more alive and awake. And for our breath work today, we're going to come into hums. So if you've been with me for a little while, you might notice that we do this sometimes. It can be a little like weird because we're not used to doing it, but it is such a beautiful way to settle our nervous system, to make us feel connected and whole. You could think of this as singing. It's really powerful to do in a group of people when we're all together, but since we can't be together, we'll just do it in our own bodies. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a big inhale through the nose, and then on our exhale, we're going to hum the breath out nice and long. We're going to do it 3 times. Maybe close your eyes or take a soft gaze. Through your nose, big inhale. And then we hum. Let it go. Through your nose, big inhale. Hum it out. Let it go. Through your nose, inhale. Hum it out. Maybe feel the stillness, the aliveness of your space. If your eyes are closed, flutter them open. And then we're going to rub the palms together. So creating some more energy in the body, getting some strength in the arms. You'll feel some heat between your palms. Notice if you're clenching in your jaw or your shoulders, soften there. Keep rubbing the hands, even when you want to give up, unless there's pain. If there's discomfort or your arms are getting tired, maybe stay, get a little stronger. Maybe rub a little more vigorously. A little more vigorously. And then let the rubbing go. Take your fingertips together, make a little ball with your hands. Feel the energy in your hands. And then almost like you were going to start to expand the energy out, or a big ball was forming in your hands. Maybe your hands come out to the size of a beach ball or wider. Feel the connection between your hands. And then as you inhale, send your arms tall to the sky. We're going to reach for the right wrist with the left hand, ground down into your right foot. And then grounding down into your right foot, reach up and over towards the left. So getting in the side body here. Beam that light in your heart up to the sky. On your next inhale, come back to center. We're grabbing the left wrist with the right hand, ground down especially into your left foot. reaching up and over towards the right. Find space in your left side body, find space across your heart. Inhale back to center. Take your feet a little bit wider, so like 3 to 4 feet. We're going to take the heels out, heels in, toes out, and then we're going to come into a squat. So we're coming into temple pose or horse pose. Knees are coming back. We're in a big squatting position. The heart is shining forward. And then from here, interlace your hands at your heart. And we're going to do what's called heartbeats. So we're going to inhale the arms out. And we're going to exhale, pull the heartbeat back in. A couple more times. Inhale the heart out. Exhale, pull your interlace in. 2 more times. Inhale it out. Exhale it in. Inhale it out. Exhale it in. If you need to lengthen and straighten your legs, you may. Hands on the hips. We're going to be playful and light here. So we'll come into some balance and see how light you can keep your body. So even though we're sinking down, can you find a lift of your heart and a sinking of your shoulders? So we're going to lift the left heel up, and then we'll set the left heel down. We're going to inhale the right heel up. Exhale the right heel down. 2 more times each side. Inhale left. Exhale it down. Inhale right. Exhale it down. 1 more round. Inhale left. Exhale it down. Inhale right. Exhale it down. Inhale, extend your legs straight. Take your arms up and overhead like a big X. Puff up your chest, send your shoulders down, take up space. And we're going to breathe into the space of our heart. So breathing into the space of your heart. See how light you can make your body. And then hands come back to your hips. Just 1 more round. So sink down into your horse pose. Lifting up through your left ankle. Exhale it down. Inhale right ankle. Exhale it down. Inhale left ankle. Exhale it down. Inhale right ankle. Exhale it down. 1 more round. Inhale left ankle. Send it down. Inhale right. Exhale it down. Inhale, extend your legs out. Straight, arms come wide like a big X. And then take your hands to your hips, heel to your feet in. Keep your toes pointing out. We're going to squat down into yogi squat. So yogi squat could be supported. You could come to sit up on something. You could put a pillow underneath you. You could put a blanket underneath your heels. The palms come together. The elbows are gently pressing on the inner knees, and we're finding lightness here. So lift your head away from your tailbone. Settle your shoulders away from your ears. Soften into the space of your jaw. Maybe close your eyes here. Feel a light at your heart. And send that light out to maybe that person that you thought of at the beginning of class. Or maybe send that light out to yourself. From here, open the eyes. We're going to walk our hands forward to a plank. So plank can be knees down. Please support yourself if you need that today. And then we're going to come into a little bit of belly work today. But we're going to think of it as really light. So see if we can shift the dialogue in the mind. So knees can be down for this, or knees up. We're going to take the right knee to the right elbow. And then we're gonna send the right foot back. We're gonna send the left knee to the left elbow, and we're gonna send it back. We're gonna keep moving like this. So keep the knees moving to the elbows. See if you can make this nice and light. So notice if the mind gets heavy or labored. Can you make it playful? Can you make it less of a big deal? See if you can take one more each side. And then let's all settle our knees down. Let's find a child's pose. So knees come wider than the hips. Big toes come together to touch. Sink your hips back for your heels. And then settle your forehead down on something. So if the forehead doesn't naturally touch, you're still a super good person. Stack maybe your fists underneath your forehead. You could also put a blanket underneath your forehead. You could put a blanket underneath your hips if your hips feel strained to get to your heels. And then picture that light in your heart and see if you can melt the light down towards the floor. Let's settle into our breath here. So let's take 3 breaths together. Let your exhale come out. And then on your inhale, fill your body. On your exhale, release the air. On your inhale, fill the body. On your exhale, release out. Inhale, breath moves in. Exhale, breath moves out. Go ahead, let the breath fill in how it wants. And then let's all take our arms up and overhead. Come to little finger claws. We're gonna come to stretch into the side body a little bit. So reaching your hands over to the right, think about sinking down towards your left hip. And see if you can find some lightness across your left side body. Definitely find some breath moving through. Take your hands back to center. Reach your hands up and over towards the left. Sink down towards your right hip and heel. And then find some breaths across the right side body. Walking back to center, find your way up to hands and knees. We're gonna tuck the toes here, and then this would be option 1. We're finding some space, some lightness in our feet here. So giving ourselves some love to the feet. So option 1 is here. This might already be enough stretch for you. Or starting to walk your hands back, maybe coming to sit gently on your hips. That will add a little bit of pressure to enhance the stretch. So you listen to your own body. We want to find that amount of space where we can breathe and open instead of constrict and tighten. So just settling into the feet here. Notice if your mind or your shoulders or your jaw is making this pose heavy. And maybe through some awareness of your mind, you find a lightness in it. From here, let's walk ourselves forward if we're seated on the heels. We'll release the tops of the feet to the earth. And then we're gonna come in for wrist stretch. So there's all kinds of different variations. We'll all listen and react and respond properly in our own bodies. So option 1, which would be a little bit more of a gentle stretch, would be to take your wrists to face each other and your hands out. So instead of having the hands down, the hands are out. So that is option 1. So that will create some stretch in the wrists. If you have a little bit more space, you'll take your fingers in to face your knees And then you'll listen to the wrists and the forearms, and maybe the wrists aren't even down on the earth. Maybe you keep the wrists up, or maybe you start to flatten the wrists and the palms to any amount to get a stretch in the wrists, in the forearms. If there's any sharp pains, please don't do this. Please come out or modify or take your fingers to the sides. We want to heal and create space, not hurt and strain anything. And then here in your wrist stretch, how can you lighten the experience? So is the pose kind of transferring tension into your jaw? Can you soften? Can you lighten your judgment of your wrists? Release your hands forward. And then from here, we're going to come to legs up the wall. For those of you who know how to do this, you can get right into it. I'm going to talk those of us who are new through it. And in my experience, this is the pivotal pose to feel light. So this is a really great way to reset your mind, to reset just kind of how you're feeling. It's called an inversion in yoga, so it really kind of helps us to go upside down, to shift and change our perspective. So if you're already in it, you can get into it. If you don't know what this means, you could come to any kind of a wall space. If you don't have a lot of wall space, I'm using a door, a closet door. That's a really nice thing to use. You could use a refrigerator, a cabinet, anything, a dishwasher, I don't know, anything that you, that isn't gonna have like, you know, posters, paintings, shelving, anything like that that could come crashing down. We don't want that. So you're gonna take yourself, I'm gonna keep saying wall, but wall means whatever you're putting legs up. So you're gonna come to the wall, you're gonna tuck yourself in, it doesn't matter right side, left side, but you really wanna make sure that your hip is flush with the wall and your shoulder is flush with the wall. That's gonna save you all kinds of headache later. So get yourself, almost like you could take a little nap on the wall. From here, keeping your hip really close to the wall, you're gonna slide your bum forward. You're gonna come down to your forearms and your elbows. Your hips are still close into the wall. If they're not, get them there. And then in one swoop, you're gonna send your legs so that your bottom is as close to the wall as possible. Now that's why I was saying to get as close, the hip is close, because if you don't do that, then your hips might be way out here and then you can kind of strain the back wobbling in. So if you're away from the wall, come down again, tuck yourself super close into it. And then we'll just have like a lightness in our knees here. So we're not straining and straightening. There is a little bend of the knees. The heels are stacked over the knees, over the hips. And then you'll find whatever comfortable position of your arms feels good. So maybe the arms come wide. Maybe you want to rest one hand on the heart, one hand on the belly, or both hands on the belly. And then it is very normal to feel tingling in your legs. If it feels like it's getting a little too much or something doesn't feel right, you can bend your knees and flatten your feet against the wall. But it is normal to feel some tingles. We're getting new rushes of blood into our system. So from here, probably close your eyes. Unless that doesn't feel good, you could just take a soft gaze. And then see here in the support of this pose, if you can let your body be really light. If you can let your breath be really soft. And then I'm going to give us some silence. So I'm going to stop talking at you for a couple minutes and see if you can just give yourself the space of this restorative pose. Just receiving the benefits, just being here in your body, in your breath. If you get easily distracted, it might be nice to focus on your breath, to keep watching yourself inhale and exhale. So I'll call us back in a couple minutes. So if you floated off somewhere, just drawing yourself back to the space of your breath. And then from here, we're going to take our hip stretch at the wall today. We can have a lot of tightness, a lot of heaviness in the hips because of stress and sitting. So we'll take and give our hips some love here. So let's bend the knees here. Slide your feet down to where your knees just were. And then you're going to press yourself out from the wall a little bit. Rise your right foot tall. And then maybe start by sliding your left foot up the wall and take your right ankle across your left thigh. So you're going to start to bend in your left knee any amount to feel into the space of your right hip. So the more 90-degree angle, the more stretch you'll get on your outer right hip. But go ahead and really listen. So you can kind of take the foot way up if you want a gentle hip stretch or if your hips are really tight. Or start to bend your knees and find that just right spot for you. So that spot where you feel tension, but you can really breathe with it. So we'll close our eyes here or take our soft gaze. And I'm going to count us through 5 breaths on each side. So let your exhale come fully out. Through your nose, inhale. Through your nose, exhale. 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 Last one. Through your nose, inhale. Through your nose, exhale. Replace your right foot to the wall. And then we'll slide the right foot up a little bit just so we have enough space. Set your left ankle across your right thigh. And then maybe this is already enough hip stretch for you, or start to bend your right knee more and slide your foot down to any amount. We want the low back to stay on the mat. So that might mean that you take the foot up a little bit. And then just breathing into the space of the left hip. So closing the eyes or soft gaze. Let your exhale come out. 5 breaths on this side. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your nose. That's 1. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your nose. 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 Replace your left foot back to the wall. And then we'll all roll over to one side. Doesn't matter which side. Making a little pillow for your head with your inner arm. And then using your free hand to press yourself up. And then let's all find a comfortable position on your back. If you want to cover yourself with a layer or with a blanket. I'm going to come up to the screen to talk us through some finishing stuff. You make yourself nice and cozy. So if you have low back stuff, it might be the most comfortable to bend your knees and place the soles of the feet underneath the knees. If you feel comfortable extending your legs out into what looks like a Shavasana pose, you'll take that. Take the positioning of the hands up to the sky, or if it feels more grounding to rest your hands on your body, please take that. And for our guided meditation today, we're going to work with this idea of light. We're going to fill the body with actual light. And hopefully that will help us feel light and buoyant. So for guided meditation, it's always best in my experience to close the eyes. But if you want to take a soft gaze at the ceiling, you could do that. And I want you to imagine a light filling into your feet, making your feet nice and soft and free, taking this light into your shins, your calves, and your knees, taking this light into your thighs and your hips and your low back, filling this light into your belly and your heart and your collarbone and your shoulders, your upper back and your mid back. Filling this light into your shoulders again, down your arms, into your elbows, your forearms, your wrists and your palms. Filling this light into your neck and your throat, filling this light into your jaw, into your cheeks, into your nose and your breath, filling this light into your ears and your temples, into your mind and the space across your forehead, to the top of your head and your hair. Really seeing yourself as a light being of light. And just taking a couple breaths into this experience, whatever it feels like to be full of light. From here, letting that image go, letting your body go. We'll slip off into a couple minutes of rest. This pose is called Shavasana, corpse pose. And it's a really beautiful opportunity to just give us the space to receive all the benefits of our practice before we transition into the rest of the day. So just being here for a couple minutes in the experience you've created for yourself. Starting to bring breath back in. Starting to feel your body in space. Taking any light movements, some little wiggles, some little sways. Eventually rolling over to one side, making a little pillow for your head with your inner arm. Eventually pressing yourself up into a comfortable seat, resting the palms up on the thighs, shoulders settle away from the ears, close your eyes. Feeling your body as light, Maybe even choosing to share this feeling, this lightness, or your inner light with the rest of the people you come into contact with today. I can't think of anything more beautiful than when we share our light with others. So drawing your hands into a gesture at your heart, bowing your chin into your chest. The light in me honors and sees the light in you. Thank you so much, yoga community. Thank you, Grand Park. For those of you who are new, we're here on Grand Park's social media channels every Wednesday and Friday from 12:15 to 1. Please join us anytime that you need the space and can make it. I'm so glad you were here with us today. Thank you so much, and be well and share that light. Okay, bye-bye.